Hey guys, welcome back to our channel.
So today we're going to be discussing on the topic dating. Yes, dating.
Wow.
A lot of people like to ask, how do we date or how should you date? But the truth of the matter is, in order to even answer that question,
Right.
you need to understand some of the reasons why you may want to date. So tell me, honey, a lot of times you have persons who date because they're lonely.
Right.
What's your thought on that? Should you date because you're lonely?
No, that's not a good enough reason to date. I mean, just because you want companionship, that's one of the reasons why you should get involved in a relationship. But you need to understand that everybody wants attention. And because you're feeling lonely, you may just get in a relationship and not get to know the person properly, and you end up getting into something that's not really what you hope for, or you end up getting involved in someone that when you come to find out you didn't do a proper job, or you were just in a vulnerable place, and you end up picking the wrong person. So it's important that you just don't do it because you're lonely.
Well, that's true. I think I can agree with that, because at the end of the day, you don't want to end up wasting time, and that is not the right person for you. So what about, I think sometimes people want get into a relationship because they want to have sex.
Mm.
Is that a good reason enough to date, you feel?
It's not sufficient. You need to, when you get involved in a relationship, you need to know where this relationship is going. I mean, you just want to have sex, so you're going to be involved in a relationship. What happens when the sex fades away, or what happens when you can't have sex? What if, God forbid, something happens and you're not in a position to perform? Then what is the basis of the relationship if it was just based on sex or being lonely? So there are several other criteria that are critical for you to get involved in dating.
And sex is just not one of those.
It's just not by itself.
Okay, so what about persons who going through a rough time and you end up, meeting someone who is more financially stable than you are,
Right.
and you need the money? I mean, is that a good enough reason for someone to date that person if they have money?
No. Come on. Money isn't a constant. I mean, what if the money dries up? What if that person no longer has the means to fund you? I mean, the Bible says money answers all things. But if you get in a relationship and it's solely based on the fact that this person can support you financially, that's not going to be sufficient. Because listen, in relationship, you're going to go through so many different challenges and so many different issues. You can go through problems that money can't solve.
Wow.
We had some medical issues years ago, and if someone had written us a check for $100 million, that could not close holes in our kid's heart.
No.
So money alone,
It's not the right thing. Okay. And so I'm going to ask you one more question, honey. What about if the person looks really good? I mean, when you see that individual, you melt. I mean, they look fine. I mean, really good. You're attracted to that person. Does that qualify you? At least give me one. Does that qualify you to date that person because that person looks good?
listen, you have to understand that what's the purpose of you dating? When you date, what do you want out of it? Do you want a lifelong partner, or are you just fulfilling a particular need that you have at one particular time in your life?
Wow.
Every individual that you spend time dating or getting to know, once you know them, you pretty much know where your relationship is going to go. You meet someone and they're extremely attractive, okay, but what if they're attractive but they have some serious addictions?
Wow, that's good.
And what if, because we talked about getting involved in a relationship and it's for sex, but what if the person that you get involved in a relationship with, or you start dating, has a sex addiction? And it's not just with you.
Oh, that's a good point. So yeah, it's the question is not as simple as you would have asked us to touch on. We were touching on this because we had a numerous amount of persons asking us, how do you date? And it's not that simple.
Right.
Dating is not all about how you look, not all about the good sex, not all about the money, the good, the nice car you drive.
I'm lonely.
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
it's about a whole lot more things. It's about you. First and foremost, what you need to make sure that you do is you establish yourself. You got to work on you. You got to work on your happiness. You got to work on finding out where you are in life.
Wow.
Once you know that, then you have your goals set. Once you have your goals set, then you would know the type of person that you want in your life. And please, please, women, don't just say I want a guy that's tall, dark, and handsome. And then when you meet every tall, dark, and handsome guy, this is the guy, because he's tall, dark, and handsome. The Lord sent this tall, dark, and handsome guy to me. And the Lord doesn't even have a tall, dark, and handsome. He may have a short, bright, and fat, and ugly fella for you. But that may be the person that's for you. But what's critical is understanding that why do you want to date? You want to date because you just want someone to fulfill an urge that you have right now, or you want to meet someone that you probably want to spend the rest of your life with. Which one do you want? So dating is basically the interview process of marriage.
Absolutely.
So if you're going to be dating someone or spending time with someone, you want to make sure that this is, because it's time out of your life. You're investing time getting to know someone. You're sharing your most innermost, intimate secrets. You're sharing yourself. You're giving yourself to this person. So the time that you invest needs to be valuable.
It needs to be worth it.
It needs to be worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And listen, ladies, don't be so quick to give up the
goods.
Thank you.
Wow, that's deep.
Listen, men are chasers. Understand this.
No, that's powerful.
Men are chasers. So if something comes easy, we don't appreciate it. If we don't have to work hard for it, we don't appreciate it as much. So appreciate that. You just meet somebody, you don't know them, get to know them. The reason you date is because you're getting to know this person. You want to learn as much as you can about them. So you want to start off by being as open and transparent as possible. Go places that you enjoy. Go places that they enjoy. Go places that they don't enjoy. Just so you can see their response, or if they're willing to give up something that they don't like for you at this stage.
That is very good, honey.
And see how they act. Go and spend some time with them around their family members.
And see how they treat their parents.
Especially their family, their siblings.
Goodness, that's awesome.
If they have kids, watch how they treat their kids. All these things are critical to dating.
Wow.
So the key to this thing is first understanding, why do you want to date?
The purpose.
Why do you want to date? You want to date because you want a lifelong partner. And if you want a lifelong partner, that means you need to understand this person. This person needs to understand you.
Absolutely.
And you got to work on getting to know them. And it takes time.
And I think last but certainly not the least of all of what we're saying, be prayerful. Be prayerful. You ask God to direct your path, and He will. You just trust the process. But again, don't waste time just to have a frivolous relationship, and you know that
it's not going anywhere. The person and you don't have, I mean, a lot of people don't have commonalities, but there's nothing that meshes apart from that one thing. If there's just one of those questions that you can answer and say, yeah, it's because of this one item, then you know you're having some problems. It needs to be a combination of stuff. It needs to be that this person is attractive. This person is also in a position to help me. This person is also someone that, is willing to work with me. This person is someone that's willing to sacrifice for me, to be with me. So you need to make sure that you're in love with this person.
Absolutely.
And not in love with what they can give you or what you can get from them.
That is good. That is good, honey.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, a lot of times you end up, all excited about the process of dating, You know, get
You're
nice
infatuated,
gifts. Oh
so-
my God, and you feel so good, and then what happens if it just stops? Test that person. At the end of the day, be very, very, very careful. You know, who you decide on dating, and their response, like my husband said, on certain things when they can't have it their way.
So, how to date? First and foremost, you have to, when you meet this person, ask questions. Don't have a checklist, tall, dark, and handsome.
No.
Don't set yourself up to just date one particular type of person because this is what you think is your ideal woman or this is your ideal man. There's none. You will never find
No.
an ideal woman or an ideal man. You'll only be chasing after something that's unattainable or someone that does not exist. So first and foremost, understand that there's no ideal man, there's no ideal woman.
Wow.
When you meet someone and you want to date someone for a lasting relationship, get involved with someone that you could have a conversation with, someone that you could be a friend with. A lot of times, people are out there looking for companionship. They're looking for this lady with the whatever
Coca-Cola shape.
Coca-Cola bottle
that's
shape,
yeah.
or they're looking for this tall, dark, and handsome guy, and you have a friend that's right there who is your best friend that you can talk about anything with, that you're comfortable being around. Not because they're beautiful, not because they have money and they talk to you any kind of way. You need to make sure that when you're with this person, you're comfortable. You can be yourself. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to put on
All kind of stuff.
all kind of extensions and stuff just to please them.
Not that nothing is wrong with looking pretty.
Nothing is
And
wrong
we-
with that
We have no problem with that.
at all.
Just that you need to make sure that the
They
person
love you.
accept you
For you.
you. And so that wraps up our first part on dating, because I know there's going to be a lot of questions coming in. And hey guys, we're ready for you. Feel free to send all the questions in, but know that you're not alone in trying to find out the best way to date.
Right.
You're not alone. Stick with the process and try.
And understand that the word process means it's going to take time. And it's going to take time. And sometimes the right person today could be right before you, but you have this list of expectations that are unrealistic. So sometimes you got to step back, ask God for your direction, and prepare to wait, and make sure that when you start talking to somebody, you're talking to them for the right reasons.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for watching this video.
Please don't forget to like and subscribe.
Don't forget to leave your comments below.
And don't forget to hit the notification button.
Our social media links are also below. Thank you so much.
Love you guys.
God bless.
God bless you. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel.
Why are you shouting?
So today we're going to be talking about dating. A lot of persons like to ask,
How do you date?
but before we can ask, before we can answer that question, we need to ask you a few questions. So the first question is,